We're live.
Hey,
Hey,
back, John.
thank you. I
Hey.
was gone so far. I was so far away.
Yeah, your anniversary. We looked it up last week, and I'm gonna trust you. Don't Google it. Hand check. Can you tell us? It's 5 years, right?
Yes,
Can you tell us what material that is? Because we know, and I want to see if you know.
it's wood.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah.
Don't worry. So wood is a running theme, a running joke in the Runaway Guys. So my
Because
audience
of
made
like a
sure I
penis.
knew. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, of course.
So
So
don't
other than the
worry.
obvious, did you get something wood for your wife?
I don't think I want wood to be fair. No, we didn't actually give each other any presents. So what we did
Okay.
instead was we paid for each other to go to the spa. So we had a spa day together,
Okay.
and then we went out for steak dinner at Ruth Chris Steakhouse.
Your favorite food.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Nice.
What do you get done at the spa? What's your spa day?
We had the same one. It was a couples package, so we
Okay.
both got a massage, we both got a facial, and we both got a pedicure.
Nice. I don't think I've ever gone to a spa.
This is my
Um,
second time total, and my second time this year, I guess. So they're not bad. I
Nice.
can definitely see why people like to go to them. But it was very awkward because I saw four guys total, and I saw maybe 25 women.
Yeah.
And even the locker count, Reese was like, "Yeah, there's like 30 something lockers in the women's room, and there was 10 total in the guys."
Yeah,
So
they know their clients, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
Cool. I don't think I've ever gotten like a professional massage either. I think about it.
they're very good, but you will also fall asleep right after. It was a struggle to stay awake for the rest of it.
It doesn't seem terrible.
No, no, but well,
Oh,
it sucks when you have to drive.
yeah, that's true. Paul, what about you? Spa, massage?
No. I don't like either. The closest is I've been to a chiropractor for like readjusting and like a little bit of
Sure.
massage there, but not like a deep tissue or any of that sort of thing.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, so happy anniversary. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Paul, have you been up to anything interesting in the last week?
Nah, not really.
Tomorrow I'm going up to Portland for 5 days. It took some days off. I'm in vacation mode right now. I don't know if you can
Nice.
tell.
Oh, you look
Um,
very relaxed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Vacation Sean, I can tell.
Yeah, it's Vacation Sean over here, guest on the show. We're not gonna actually do much in Portland though. We've been to Portland a lot. It's just kind of the home base where we're gonna be spending like the nights, and then we rented a vehicle. We're gonna go. There's a small little town that's all like Dutch themed that we're gonna be going to for the day. We're gonna be doing some hikes in the mountains, some like waterfall
Nice.
trails. We're gonna go to the coast on one day and go along the coastal drive and go to the beach. Um, and then check out the Tillamook Cheese Factory while we're
Nice.
there. Get some cheese, get some ice cream. So that's what I'm doing for the next 5 days, starting
Honestly,
early
I thought for
tomorrow.
a second you were going to Portland Retro Gaming Expo because it's pretty close to now, but I think it's next week. So
Oh, okay. Honestly, if you had said it was this week, I bet I could have swung by for a bit. I bet I could have made that slide. But that's good to know. Anyway, yeah. So that's what I'm going to be doing in the next week. But previous week, no, nothing, not a ton. I'm going to say Loki started. I'm enjoying Loki. Paul and
are
I
they
were
doing
just
the one
talking about
episode
it.
every week or 2 weeks thing again?
Every 1 week. I think Disney always does every 1 week.
Okay.
So, but I've heard bad things, so
Oh no, come on. Loki
I don't
1 was
know.
so good.
Loki was very good. I
Yeah.
liked the first episode a lot. If you like the bromance between Loki and Owen Wilson, there's a lot of that in the first episode. And I was just telling Paul this. There's a scene between the two of them and we didn't look up the name of the actor, the guy who plays the dad in Everything Everywhere All at Once. There's a scene because he's in season 2. There's a scene between the three of them that is very enjoyable. So I'll just say that. But let's talk about some video games. Top down perspective, October 5th. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
John Wheeler.
Guess we'll do this one quick. Paul, did you play anything?
Yeah, I've been trying to finish up Baldur's Gate. I'm probably about 10 hours out. I'm at the end. So, gonna see
You
that
can
through.
see the light.
I can. I'm on the last side quest thing, and I have one more MacGuffin type thing I have to do before the end starts.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you know what the next big game is that you're gonna dive into? Or are you gonna do a bunch of small games? What's the plan?
I'm gonna finish Final Fantasy 16 completely.
Oh, okay.
Is
Where did you finish? Where did you stop with that?
right after the first Titan encounter, the human Titan encounter, I guess I'll say.
Wait, aren't all Titans humans?
Well, I mean, the first time you fight him, and he almost doesn't. He like breaks through the ground at some point. It's like a two-phase fight. That was the last thing I did.
I don't even remember. But you must be early if it's like the first thing, or first time something happened.
Like 15, 16 hours in, somewhere there.
Oh, you got to be nearing the end then. What
no,
am I thinking?
I don't think so. I'm probably. You didn't do the side stuff though, right? Because I'm doing all of it.
Oh no, I did the ones that mattered.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna 100% it.
Go with God. That's wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's it though. I've been just catching up.
Cool. John, you've been gone 2 weeks. What are you playing?
A lot of my stuff spans from stream in some way, shape, or form. Still playing F-Zero 99 because that got new content. Well, new content. Got more tracks. That game's still fun, but it's still a pain in the ass to get first place on it. Some of my friends are way too freaking good at that game. Still playing F-Zero GX. I finished one of the 4 sets of courses on Master difficulty, which is very difficult to do. But I've been not having much luck with getting the rest of them done. So I'm wondering if I want to grind that out or not, because that's going to require getting very good at that game.
Is playing both at the same time? Are they helping each other?
No, they both have different skill sets, basically.
Okay.
So unfortunately, not really.
Right.
On stream, we finished up Gotham Knights.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. I found the last, like, it's not a dungeon, but like the cave that you like go through to get to the final boss.
Yep.
I just hated it. The owls are so annoying when the
owls are super annoying to fight. Yeah.
Because they disappear.
Yeah. Well, that's right. That's the ninjas. I can't remember Talia's thing.
Oh, the League of Shadows or
League
whatever?
of Shadows. Yeah, it's the League of Shadows members.
Sorry, they're super annoying. The owls you have to stun, then you can hit them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole last thing is just like combinations of those two enemies, so it just takes forever. And then during the final fight, we hit a bug, so we had to restart that area. So I went through that area twice.
Ew, that area is really long. It is really long.
So I kind of ended that game being like, uninstalled, I'm done, you suck.
It doesn't help that the ending is kind of meh.
Yeah, and you see it coming from like minute 2 of the game.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not alone in that. Thank God. I was just like, really? They're gonna actually do this? And we're both of us were like, oh, come on. But they're like, oh, it's all right. Whatever. Yeah, that game was okay. But now I'm curious. I want to check out some of the 4-player stuff, but also I don't. So that's where I'm torn.
The end game. There's like a challenge mode or something.
Yeah, there's there's end game raids equivalent basically where you can actually have 4 players.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Yeah. Damn. I gotta play this game.
Yeah, we didn't dive into that because I think it required it's time to get serious about grinding and putting your loot together. And I was just
you need to have actually good gear for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, nope, I'm good.
Man, that's the type of shit I would do. That I would be super into, grinding out gear for a raid. In that sounds great.
I had a feeling you'd be down for
that.
Oh,
I'm so down. I'm ready to install. I'm ready to go.
Game's not that long apparently, so don't worry. We did it in 6 streams.
Okay, so it's pretty short, huh? Damn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, short, like 20 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty short these days, unfortunately.
Sad but true.
Yeah.
I played through Phantom 2040 for game clearing on stream. So this is based off the old Phantom comics from way back in the day, like 1930s. But there was a resurgence in the 90s and 2000s, and including a cartoon about him in the distant future of 2040, 17 years from now.
And that Billy Zane movie.
No, yeah, I love that movie. I love
the Billy Zane movie. It was great. I haven't seen it in years, but
I watched it last year. I'm like, oh, this is still cheesy as hell. This is great.
Okay, that's pretty great.
It's still got some awkward moments, but I'm like, yeah, this rules. Uh, the game itself is the most ambitious Super Nintendo game I feel like I've ever played.
Wow.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
It is a game. It's a run and gun basically, but it also has Spider-Man like tether physics. So you have like a grappling hook you can use that you can just like swing around with. You can climb walls with it, stuff like that. You get like 20 different weapons you can get, which are all upgrades to your guns. They can be. You have 2 slots that if you combine certain weapons together, they actually change how the weapons work. So you can have like you can get a spread shot, but then you can also get a homing missile and combine them together to make a homing spread shot.
Oh, that's sick. Wow.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of really cool mechanics to it. There's so much hidden stuff everywhere. Like stuff's hidden like super subtly too. Like, oh, that wall has like a slightly different pattern to it, but it's so subtle. Like it's like one shade off. So like blow that up and it's got something in it. But if you find this wall, which doesn't have any like difference in it at all, and you find it, that might lead to like a different storyline beat. The game has like 20 endings. And it's all dictated on like what decisions you make through the story. Cause like you'll get branching paths at the beginning of each chapter, like, okay, you found this Black Panther. Who do you want to give it to? This person or this person? This will dictate a major story beat.
Oh,
And
okay.
like so on and so on. There's literally like a story beat where it's like, okay, 2 things are going on right now. There's like one group's doing like creating an army of like robotic soldiers, and another group is about to shoot a satellite laser at Earth and blow it up. Which do you choose to do? And if you do one, you might end up, if you don't get there in time, you might actually end up screwing yourself over, and the other group gets to do something. But there's a way to get rid of both, and like I found it by accident, and people are like, "Oh my god, you actually are on your way for the best ending!" Like I can't believe it. But like the game is like wild. Like I couldn't believe how much fun I had with it. So I really wish I had played this as a kid because it was just there was so much to it. Some
Yeah.
of it was a bit of a slog because it's very, very mazy and there's no like actual map in game, but there's maps online at this point. But like it was just I was just impressed this Super Nintendo game was doing like swinging way above its weight class, especially for what was a TV tie-in game.
Yeah, that sounds really impressive, actually.
Yeah. Honestly, like I legit would recommend it. Like that was actually like I had a lot of fun with it.
There's a TV show that has
Yep.
both Ron Perlman and Mark Hamill as voice actors.
There you go. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't remember how many episodes this show had because I never saw
Two
it growing
seasons.
up. 2 seasons, damn.
And they're like the long, 90s cartoon seasons.
Wild. Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I do recommend it if you're looking for a retro game to try out at some point. Also, when I beat that, I had some extra time on stream, so I tried to beat Gradius 3. And I did not do it on stream, but I did it off stream later.
Sure, those games
Okay.
are hard.
Those games are hard.
Yeah, they are.
Gradius 3, the SNES version, has a bunch of slowdowns, so it's like that will help you get through a bunch of things. But yeah, that game, that took some work. But I finally got through it. That's what I've been trying to beat for a long time.
Nice. They're great games,
Congrats.
but yeah, damn.
Yeah. And that's basically been it.
Cool.
Some quick hits for me. I finished Starfield. I'm done.
Oh,
Did it.
okay.
Completed it. I'll come back when the DLC drops.
Sure.
I did all the faction quests, then I did the main ending. I didn't have to fight the final boss because I persuaded my way through it. Done.
Nice.
Quick and easy like that.
Cool.
I continue with Lies of P. The game is like fully clicked for me now that I've upgraded my Pinocchio enough.
Okay.
Um,
Yep.
I found like the weapon that is what I was dreaming of. So now I'm just like
What
taking
type
out
of weapon
bosses
is
in,
it?
like a sword.
Like fast attacking?
What I had, so you start with a fast sword, at least
Yeah.
the build I picked, because you have your choice of a few of them.
Yeah.
And then eventually I got like a big sword, not like a big sword because those are too slow, but I got like a like a medium speed big sword.
Yeah.
And I was using that for a while, but then I got a fast big sword, and I was like, this is it. This is what I wanted.
Did you change the
was playing that-
hilt and blade combination at all, or any of that?
No, actually, I was, and then once I got this sword, I was like, no, I'm good with what it is, what it has, because the hilt also changes how you do your like super attack.
Yeah.
So I got a curved sword or something like that. And for the longest time, I was using the like police baton handle, but that just does like this like kind of generic like slam attack. Whereas the curved one, P will like twist around and do like a couple hits, and it's pretty great. And his like Y attack is cool because he'll do like a strong attack and then he'll leap backwards away from the enemy, and you can hit it again for him to like lunge forward and do another hit if you want.
Cool.
Which is pretty useful. So now I'm just like crushing it. I'm beating some bosses on like the first like the learning attempt.
Nice.
I'm just like, okay, this one's not going to count. I don't have like the optimal build that I'm going to like spend my resources on. Let's just see what happens. And then I beat it, and it's like, this is not even fair. What is going on? This sword is great.
Nice.
My dude looks awesome now. I got a sweet costume that I tweeted out. Man, it is totally clicked. So that's good.
Cool.
The one thing I do want to talk about specifically is Cocoon, though, that I've been playing this week. This came out on Game Pass last week. This was one of my like highlight games back at Summer Games Fest.
Right.
I forget the name of the developer, but it has ex-Playdead people, so ex-Limbo and Inside people. It seemed like whatever happened at Playdead, there was like a schism where key members of Playdead left, and someone went on to make Somerville, which is not very good, and some went on to make Cocoon, which is very good.
Yeah.
But Somerville is kind of more what you'd expect from the Limbo and the Inside pedigree. So if you're looking for more of that, you want Somerville, or just play them all. They're all on Game Pass, so they just do that. That's what I did.
Sure.
Cocoon, though, is a like top down, like the perspective is from the top down.
Sure.
Thought me for that before. You're like a robot bug thing. The whole world is like bug but robots. So it's like everything kind of has like an organic or like a biotech element to it. So it's one part is like gross because bugs are gross, and then there's also like, but there's also robots and stuff. So it's like a wet robot aesthetic.
Wet robots.
Sometimes it's gross. It looks nice. It looks cool, but it's also kind of gross.
Sure.
Much like a bug.
Yeah.
But what's really cool, and the way this works, is this is basically the riddle of like, I need to get these chickens, these wolves, and like the seed across the river. But
Sure.
if I leave like the minority on one side, they're gonna like eat themselves. So you need to figure out how to cross the river.
Sure. Yeah.
That's this game. And the way this works, though, is the world that you're in, you will exit that world, and then there will be an orb that you can move around. And you start putting orbs into orbs to like use their various like mechanics within each other. So each world you'll get like a power. There's like 4 boss fights. And what's really cool is this is a 1-button game. You have to, for like a standard Xbox controller, you're hitting A or you're holding A. Those are the only things you can interact.
Okay.
So I bet this was actually work like really well with touch controls. But each world will give you like a power that when you are holding the orb of that world, you can use it. So one, for example, the very first world is like an orange orb. It lets you walk along specific laid out paths if you have the orb. Otherwise, it's just like a hole there. If you're holding the orb, you can walk across it. But then there'll be ones that can like shoot a beam, and sometimes you're like, okay, well, I need the beam to hit this thing in this other orb, so I need to put the green orb inside the orange one. So when I shoot the white orb into the orange, it'll go in there, it'll go in the green one, and it'll hit the key for me, and stuff like that. And it sounds complex, but they do the really good puzzle game thing of like, here's the mechanic, we're gonna play with it. We're going to make it a bit harder. Then we're going to move on. We're going to introduce another mechanic. And now you're going to have to combine the two and figure out how those work together. Similarly to like the chicken and the wolf scenario. So it's a lot of like, I need to get myself over there, but I need to make sure I can bring both these orbs. But the only way I'm going to cross it is if this orb I'm holding. So how do I get this other one there first? And stuff like that. And it's really cool. And the boss fights, like I was saying, they're like really inventive. Because they're it's a puzzle game, but there's an action element to these boss fights that are really unique, and they're probably some of the best parts of that game in how you're going to interact with it. So it's like 3 hours. I can't recommend it enough. It's on Game Pass. It's on everything, but if you have Game Pass, it's on Game Pass. And yeah, it's a really solid puzzle game. So check that out. That's Cocoon.
Cool. Yeah, that's one that's been on my radar, but I might take a day this weekend and just play through it. I've heard it's quite short.
That's what I did on like the weekend. Yeah, just like 2 sittings basically.
Yeah.
And then this is all I can say. I'm playing Spider-Man 2.
Sure. I assume
So
it's more
jealous.
of that game.
So jealous.
More Spider-Man.
I can't say I'm not allowed to say anything about it.
Yeah.
I was allowed to tweet the title screen. That
yeah.
was part of the, that's
That
what I
was all you were allowed to do. Wow.
That's literally all I was allowed to do. Is you can send on social media. You can post a picture of this screen.
That's hilarious.
I'm not even allowed to have my profile online when I'm playing it, but like appear online. And one thing, and I didn't even know this was a feature on the PS5. You can hide games from your profile so that like the trophies or like the activity information won't even show on a game by game basis. And I had to do that as well. I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't either.
But yeah. So yes, I'm allowed to say I have it, and it has a title screen, and you can see what that title screen is. And that's all I can say about Spider-Man 2.
When is the embargo up?
The 6th. I think the review embargo is the 16th, and then there's like there's another embargo on the 19th, but I think that's for like guides and stuff or live streams or something. But yeah, so not for a little under 2 weeks. But I will be talking about that when that goes up. So
nice.
For now, let's do some news. Not a ton is happening. I wanted to give a quick PSA over on the NoClip, the video game documentary YouTube channel. They just published a Burger King games documentary about how those things came to be. Special place in my heart. That's fantastic. I ate that thing up. So if you're curious kind of why those exist and how they exist and some just kind of weird facts about the Burger King games, go check out the YouTube channel NoClip. Diablo 4 is coming to Steam on October 17th, which is also the day before the next like time limit for the Activision Blizzard acquisition thing.
Oh, weird.
I don't know if that means anything. I saw someone point that out, and I was like, okay, I will relay the message.
Yeah.
The 3DS and Wii U online services are shutting down in April.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's surprised.
No,
Yeah.
it's too bad, but
it's going to happen
it was
sooner or
gonna
later.
happen. Yep.
But so, I don't know what's an online game that people might still be playing with that.
Monster
Splatoon
Hunter.
1.
Yeah,
Splatoon.
Splatoon 1 servers went back up somewhat recently.
Okay. You were saying Monster Hunter, Paul?
Yep.
That is the Wii U one or the 3DS one?
Both.
Oh yeah, Kid Icarus Uprising. People are still playing that online.
Oh, okay. I was
Really?
going to ask, is there a 3DS one? But okay. Well, apparently, Pokemon Bank is going to stay up indefinitely as the exception. All right. Good to know. Naughty Dog has been hit with some layoffs. Naughty Dog is around 400 people. Sources are saying it's about 25. What makes this a little more newsworthy, other than the depressing layoffs, is that apparently the Last of Us multiplayer game is now, quote, on ice. We had last heard about this game a few months back when there was some reports that it had been shown off to Bungie, the Destiny developers, after Sony purchased them to like do kind of a quality check on the game, and they came away with like less than favorable input. And I guess they haven't quite been able to turn that around. And then along with these layoffs, that does not look good for the Last of Us multiplayer game.
Yeah.
So, not canceled, but on ice does not give a lot of hope for that thing.
I'm going to add some news that broke a couple hours ago. TellTale is also laying off most of its staff.
Is it most? I heard
Yes.
some. I didn't hear most.
I mean, I'll give you a link. TellTale confirms layoffs.
Yeah, please give me the link.
Dev claims most of the team is affected, but they insist
geez.
all projects are still in production. So, yay.
I had read that Wolf Among Us 2 is still happening. I can only imagine this is because Expanse probably didn't do great for them. Yeah, well, that's what. You're most of the team affected. Yikes.
Yeah. Brutal. No good.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens with TellTale again, but... All right, that's it for news. Let's do some questions. topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. And you could sound like a Hive who writes, curator of all things fun makes you an offer. You can have physical copies of any one video game. However, you will have to take land transport, where possible, to and from a magical dispensing machine. And you will be given cash, the game's price, to pay said machine. The more expensive the game, the further away the machine. What game do you feel safe enough to choose depending on distance?
I don't care about this, so I wouldn't do it.
I did a 40-hour drive.
Yeah, John doesn't
I'm
give
fine.
a shit. Yeah.
I'll do it. Like,
I can vouch. If I said to John right now, "Hey, we need to go to Toronto," we would drive. Like, we'd be gone. I can vouch. He would.
well, no,
he
I'd
doesn't
rather
give a
fly.
Shit.
I
No,
would
but
rather
like,
fly because I value my time somewhat. But if he's like, yeah, we have to drive.
you don't give a
because we're
shit
gonna
about
get,
driving.
Like, a
No.
box copy of Little Samson is the only way. I'm like, I get it. Let's go.
This is the John question. He does not give a shit about driving at all.
It's land-based, which means it is in North America, or
Yep.
I guess maybe technically it could be South America too.
Yep.
But like that would be an adventure.
That
so
might be
I'm just
too
kinda
far.
like,
South America might be too much.
Hey, you guys are coming south. You can crash at my place for a night.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of halfway there.
There's no game I care enough about where I would drive like an hour or
think.
two away for it.
My immediate answer is no. I'll just download it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Okay, what game is not on an online service that so that I've been wanting, and one that comes to mind is like Hotel Dusk 2. Okay, I've always wanted a physical copy of that. How far am I willing to drive, and someone is going to pay for it?
Yeah.
I think this is the thing. It depends on how much the distance is too. What's the difference distance per cost ratio?
Sure.
That's the thing. I
Because,
would
like,
probably
John's talking about a
go-
game that's I think is like $70 versus I'm talking about a game that's probably like 4,000.
Right. Yeah.
So like, yeah.
I would drive maybe at most 2 hours.
At most.
Each way. I think 2 hours is my limit, so I'm doing 4 hours of driving.
For like me here, for us here, that's like a little past Red Deer. I guess I would drive to it. Like, yeah, that seems like maybe my limit too. Like an hour and a half to 2 hours.
I drove to Seattle in one day, so I'm in. I don't care.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not saying I can't do the drive. I've done plenty of long road trips. I'm just saying, like, if the sole thing is I'm going to pick up a game,
that's what it is,
turn around and drive back, I think it's 2 hours. If it was
okay, so I forgot it's to and from you have to drive. I thought you could like fly back, so you could just like borrow a car or like rent a car and then just go there.
Yeah, it just says land transportation. I mean, theoretically, you don't have to like turn around and come back. That also changes it. Like, let's say it was like in LA. It's like, okay, I'll hang out in LA for like a night or two. That's 6 hours each direction.
Yeah.
Like I do that drive all the time, unfortunately. But like, if it is literally just like I can't do anything besides drive, hand game, drive, then it's like I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it'll just depend on the cost per ratio. But ideally, yeah, I would want it to be something I could do in the same day. But if it's multiple days, but it's for something extremely expensive, extremely worth it, then probably would do it.
Yeah, fair.
The most I've driven in one day, and it wasn't me all driving, we were taking shifts, is 9 hours.
14 for me.
Yeah, 14 for me too. I mean, I've driven to PAX before.
Yeah,
so,
with me. So
Yeah.
Wait, no, I've driven to PAX with you too. I don't know if I did any of the driving though. I must have. I don't know.
Were you in the car with us? Because I remember it was
He
me. Oh, I remember someone
Well,
else being in the
no,
car with me.
the one
Come
time
on.
I drove, John was not in the car.
Yeah.
Right. No, it was you, me, Nathan, Brittany, and
I don't remember
Brad.
There was another year. It was
Bread.
me, you, and someone else in my car. Because
That
that was the
was-
bird year.
That was just Ron, my friend.
Yeah, Ron. Yeah, so there you
Yeah.
go. So that was a different year.
Did you say that was the bird
thing?
year?
The bird year. Yeah,
What's the
that's
bird year?
That's the best way I remember.
We
that
don't
drive
talk about
in that
what
year.
happened on that drive.
Nature
You, like,
got
hit a
mad at us
bird?
and tried to kill us
Oh man,
numerous times.
We don't talk
how
about
fast
that
was this
drive.
bird flying?
Very.
Not as fast as we were, I'll tell you that.
Jesus.
Suku writes, if you only had 24 hours before you were incapable of playing video games for 5 years, what would you do? For John's sake, he's able to play games for his job, but only ones that come up at random. No input on what gets picked. Rerolling counts as input. Okay, so you couldn't reroll, I guess. Sean can only play games he's paid to review. And Paul too, if he does anything video game related, what would you do? Play an old favorite, beat as many as you can, or nothing special?
Bitch, I already do this on a regular basis, not play things in my spare time. There's nothing different here.
But for 5 years, you can never.
It kind of feels like that sometimes.
I don't know. I think I would just want to enjoy like my last session, so I wouldn't I would just play something I love, I guess.
I would play as much as I
probably-
could, but it would be things that are that have been in my backlog for a while, that have been near the top of it, where it's like I'm gonna things like Disco Elysium, where it's like I really want to play this. It is like at the top of my backlog at all times. So it'd be stuff like that.
I would probably do the same thing as Paul and pull from a bunch of my childhood favorites, and then maybe one game I've always heard that I should play.
Yeah. Just like a really sad, saying goodbye type thing. Or something.
Man, that would be that's so weird to think about though, because if you're just removing that amount of chunk of your time, that's a lot of time in my week, right? So it's man, what am I gonna fill that with?
I mean, this is what happens to people that go to jail or something, and then they come out, they're like, I haven't watched a movie in 10 years or something. It's like, holy shit.
I'm gonna watch all the movies now. Yeah. I guess on the other side of it, all the games I want are gonna be super discounted.
Yep.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be so many of them. My backlog is gonna be ridiculous.
It's gonna be so weird for me being surrounded by this stuff all the time. You're like, yeah, I can only play this when I work. I guess I could be I'll just work more to counteract it, but I can't pick what I play. So NHL 99 it is today.
Man. No more P-Cross in your downtime. Even for me.
I think I've done so much Picross over the years, I'm kind of okay with that now.
Wow.
Even for me in my downtime, I'll do crosswords. I guess that counts as a game, technically, so.
In the paper, like an old man?
No, on the internet,
Okay.
yeah, a Zoomer.
Is that count? Is that a video game then?
Sure.
Yeah, it's a video game.
I guess so. I mean,
So
either
you have
way,
to
it's
start.
either way, it's a game. And his
You have to
question
get
says all
the,
games.
Big Book of Crosswords, Volume 3.
Yeah, yeah. I would do that. Why not?
All right, Lineback says, someone recently described my accent as poggies, and I don't know how to process that. What are the strangest things people have said about your accents?
Poggies?
What is Poggies?
Poggies.
Dumb internet slang, dumb stream slang.
It means good, great, basically. It's oh, that's awesome. That's poggers.
Someone complimented your accent?
It is a compliment, yes, but
Yeah.
it's a very internet compliment.
Yeah, super internet compliment.
Every time I go to the States and hang out with some of my friends, they always make fun of the way I say tomorrow. So they always give me a weird look tomorrow. So
It's the other way to say it.
Yeah. What?
tomorrow. Tomorrow. Apparently,
Oh,
like one of them
tomorrow.
is a
Tomorrow and
specific
tomorrow?
like Canadian thing, and we don't notice it
Tomorrow.
because
Yeah,
we're
proper
Canadian.
proper pronunciation is definitely a Canadian thing. That's true.
Tomorrow.
So wait, which one do you say?
I don't know anymore because I've said it too many different times.
Yeah,
and
because now I've lost it. I get sorry. People
Yeah.
will point out when I say sorry. People point out about. And
Do you
there's
say
another
about
one.
weird?
Oh, I guess if I'm speaking fast, or to them it'll sound like the aboot nonsense, which I don't hear it.
I've never heard that
but
from
maybe-
you. Okay. I've heard it from
maybe,
people
well, again,
before.
maybe it's the issue of us being all Canadian.
No, I've definitely heard it from people before, but like other Canadians, but interesting.
What's the other one? Was it dragon? They say like dragon, and I say dragon like the hard A.
Oh. Sure. Uh-huh.
Like dragon.
Well, yeah, I say dragon.
Dragon, yeah.
But they'll
dragon
say
is right.
dragon.
Yeah, dragon. Yeah.
They say dragon. Yeah.
Oh, and the one I get a lot is pasta, because around here they'll say like pasta.
Pasta
I'll say
is technically correct.
I also
say
say
pasta.
pasta.
Because it's an A sound, pasta, but they say it with like an O sound, and apparently I'm wrong.
Posta.
Posta? What?
Get some
Pasta.
posta.
They'll say
Get some posta in you.
They say
Pasta.
pasta, and they say pasta.
Sure.
I don't know. I just tell them I'm speaking correctly, and they're idiots.
Yeah, exactly. People don't say anything about my accent because I try not to talk to Americans at any chance I get.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little unavoidable.
Down there
do
for
have a
you, yeah.
coworker.
I would assume so.
I have a coworker in New Jersey, and she says "wada" for water,
Water.
and we always
Yeah.
point that out because it's great. It's
Wada's good.
So wada.
Yeah, that's a good one.
VGC Kenny writes, "What is something that is less than the sum of its parts? Something that on paper is a no-brainer, but in execution is a mess. Something that each individual piece has no major issues, but when it's put together, it doesn't quite fit. Doesn't fit quite right."
Chrono Cross.
Okay.
Chrono Cross is basically the same thing as Chrono Trigger, but for some reason, like when it's put together, it just doesn't quite feel the same. It's very off-putting for people.
Okay.
Oh, Square Enix's Avengers game also kind of has the similar thing. I would agree with.
Yeah, I'm kind of just looking at the
Yeah.
chat because I don't have anything in mind. The Square Enix one that's a good answer. I'm trying to just think of stuff outside of games as well. I don't have a good answer for this.
I don't really either. All right, next from Rasterman. It's June 2024. New Summer Game Fest with Jeff Keighley's being held with a range of amazing games to be hyped for, at least in theory. The show's about to end and what's this? A trailer for Beyond Good and Evil 2 with actual gameplay? Yes, it seems that project isn't dead and a representative is about to enter the stage. Welcome to none other than Tommy Tallarico. Apparently, he has acquired the rights of the property from Ubisoft and promises an amazing experience like people have never seen before. How do you think people react to this? Is the game in this hypothetical scenario actually coming out?
They're excited until Tommy walks on stage, and they're like, "Oh."
Well, so I think the more interesting question is, do you think it has a better chance of coming out now?
No. I
So
think no matter
it's
what,
worse
it's just
off?
not coming out. I think it's just hooped no matter what.
It's definitely worse. A worse chance.
Do you think it's
of it
worse?
coming out.
Like if it had stayed with Ubisoft, there was still hope,
Yeah.
but with Tommy, there's no hope.
Yeah. I even like Tommy. Like, I don't have a problem with him. He's just an unreliable person.
Yeah, he doesn't have a great like recent track record.
No,
No, his reputation's been pretty trash.
it's pretty
these last,
bad.
like years.
Yeah. Ubisoft is
I mean,
still
my
a company
initial
that
thought
likes
would
money.
be
So
my initial thought would be like, you know, you just purchased this IP. Clear, you must want to do like get something back from it, so you're going to try to get it out. But then I look at like the Intellivision stuff, and it's like I'm sure you put some money in that, and got nothing back.
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, whatever happened to that thing?
It kept getting delayed over and over to a point where I'm pretty sure people think it's just vaporware because apparently the test models that went out, people said were running like shit.
And I kept
Oh,
asking for more and more like crowdfunding money.
yeah, that's
Um,
bad look. That's a bad.
Very, very bad look.
Yeah.
Apparently, people were saying like it ran super bad, like it was like lower quality than like Wii games or like it was or the I don't know. It's just like a whole mess.
What a shame.
Phantom Aegis says, Ahoy TDP crew, as Spider-Man 2 slowly approaches, who's your favorite Spider-Man villain? An optional question, which version of said villain is your favorite?
Venom.
Green Goblin and Venom, yeah.
Green Goblin is very good. Yeah.
which Green Goblin though? Like Norman Osborn or
Yeah,
Norman,
Norman.
yeah.
Yeah.
I always liked Mysterio because he's so goofy and dumb. My favorite version of him might have been like from the first Spider-Man game because it's it's kind of like the Batman Scarecrow stuff, and you actually get to like do some cool
Yeah.
zany
Yeah.
things.
Sure.
Venom is cool too for sure, and that's probably just like '90s cartoon Spider-Man is the Venom because I'm not going to say Spider-Man 3 Venom.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Lethal Protector Venom, I'm a fan of, but that was kind of like, I guess, our era of the comics and stuff.
Was
so.
that
liked
was
him-
that the Oh right, no, that's when he became a vigilante. I was gonna say that's not the era
Yeah.
where like Flash was him, was it?
No, that was. Oh my God, which Venom was that? That was Agent
I don't remember.
Venom.
It became anti-venom eventually, but I can't remember what the actual term for was.
It was
when he
Agent
like,
Venom, I think.
That's the
Was
one. Yeah,
Flash.
Agent Venom.
Yeah.
Wait,
Agent
so
Venom
who's
is
Venom
great.
when he's a good guy? I forget the name of him.
That's Lethal Protector.
And
Yeah, but
Agent
who's
Venom,
the-
I guess.
Oh, I guess.
Who's the guy under the suit?
Oh, Eddie Brock for Lethal
Eddie Brock,
Protector,
okay.
and like the movies and stuff, and then there was
Yeah.
a storyline where Flash Thompson got given the symbiote,
Mhm.
and like Eddie
Right,
Brock
yeah.
became anti-venom, where he had like a symbiote that was kind of a counteracting agent to the normal symbiote. It's like a whole weird thing.
Comics are dumb. They're
Yeah,
so dumb.
That's why we love reading them.
Yeah, totally.
I do love Amazing Spider-Man 2's Rhino with Paul Giamatti.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's pretty good. Yeah.
Probably the best part of that movie, even though he's like
Yeah.
barely in it. But
Probably
it's very
easily.
enjoyable. Alfred Molina's Doc Ock is fantastic.
Very good. Very
Yeah.
good.
And William Dafoe's Green Goblin is also really good too.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Even Mysterio in like Tom Holland's Mysterio with Jake Gyllenhaal, that
Yeah,
was
Jake
very
Gyllenhaal.
too.
I actually think that might be my favorite version of Mysterio because it's just like he actually is kind of hard to read what he wants to do.
Yeah, the movie's got
Well, I
the.
mean, he's like
good.
cool in that movie.
Yeah.
But then I like again.
Yeah, it's also
90s
like
cartoon.
the kindest interpretation of Mysterio I think they've done.
Yeah, because like I think of '90s cartoon where he's just goofy beyond
He's just a
belief.
fishbowl man.
Yeah. And last question from Comet Strider. Any recommendations on how to go about selling old retro games, mostly GameCube DS games? My biggest concern is finding accurate prices so I know I'm selling them for decent amounts.
Price charting. Pricecharting.com. That's it. There's a bunch of sites dedicated to like aggregating like eBay sale prices for every game. You just look at what the average price is, judge according to the quality of the game you have, if you have everything with it, and you'll know your vague price. It does require a little bit of legwork, but it will give you an accurate number. Now the problem is, can you find people that want to actually pay that price for the game? That's the real kicker.
Yeah.
Would you not recommend just like look what they're selling it on eBay for? do something
That's
similar?
basically what I said, because like
okay.
price tracking or price charting is an eBay aggregate. Like it takes the averages.
Okay.
Where to
that's a
sell is
good idea.
tricky too, because like the honestly, Facebook is one of the
Yeah.
weirdly best places I've used for it. Like
Facebook Marketplace.
yeah, because
Yeah.
like there's always like groups in your area that will be like, I'm looking for this game. Anyone got it? Or like they're selling stuff for like at market price. Yeah.
But if you I mean, you live in a big city. If you did though, you're probably stuck.
There
with,
are groups that
offering
will
on
also
eBay.
like mail out shit. Like there's
Yeah.
tons of like there's like a Canada wide game collecting group I peek in on every now and then.
Okay. All right, that's gonna do it for questions. You want to send in questions for next week? topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's PO Box. What is your game of the week?
Baldur's Gate.
Phantom 2040.
Nice.
This is not my opinion of the game, but it's Spider-Man 2.
Does that even count? Does that count?
Oh man, Sean
know.
leaked it. It's the best game of the year.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying it's Sean's game of the week, but who knows what that means?
Who knows? Maybe he likes bad games. Who knows?
Yeah,
I mean, it depends on how much do you think he likes Cocoon, Starfield, and Lies of P. He clearly hates all three of those games.
That's a solid lineup too.
or the twist is like, I've been saying my least favorite game every week since we started
for this moment.
He's been so smart. He's been playing us for suckers the entire time. No wonder we can never guess his game in Game of the Year talk.
Yeah. I do my 10 most hated games each year as the surprise. All right, see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.